What happened during COVID? When everyone was stuck at home and nobody was even allowed to travel international and the borders were closed, people said, you know what? If I can't live on my own, if I can't be even going to the park and have my kids run around there, then let me freaking go buy an RV and go take my family on a road trip. Let me get a 20-acre parcel and put my RV out there. The industry went through the roof since COVID, and it has not come down again. So RV sales are off the chain. People are buying these things like hotcakes, and now everyone has an RV, or all these people that do have an RV, where are they gonna put it? So what are RV lots? Tell us quickly what are RV lots. Describe them for a little bit.
The cool thing with an RV lot is it's basically a driveway. The average RV lot is anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000 square feet with some concrete, maybe some gravel, and it's got utilities on it. So you're buying a driveway with utilities on it. So there's water, electric, and there's sewer, and you're inside of a community that has lots of amenities. For instance, clubhouses and pools and playgrounds for the kids and rivers, and some of them have boat pads and things like that. So you're in a nice subdivision, a camping subdivision, a campground type of subdivision, but you actually own your own driveway. It's a deeded driveway that you can buy and sell. You can even rent it if you want. And it's a place that you could either store your RV, or maybe you want to live there. And there's a lot of RV parks out there that actually people live year round. It solves a lot of problems. Some people live there year round because it's affordable, and some people just use it for recreation. It's totally up to you. Every RV campsite is different, but basically you're buying a driveway with utilities on it, and you have to bring your own RV, of course.
So in other words, these are not big lots. We're not talking about an acre, half an acre, or anything like that. We're talking about these lots being like basically a driveway, a paved driveway. Perhaps it has it has utility hookups, and perhaps it has a little shed attached to it in some cases or so, right? So what happens now? What are these typically worth on the low end to the high end, Aaron?
I've seen RV lots worth in today's market anywhere from on the low end about 20 grand, and I've seen them all the way up to $1 million. Typically, the more money that there is, they are usually the more amenities that people are getting. Like people, there's some spas and weight gyms in some of these things, and and some of them, usually the more expensive they are, the more expensive the RVs get too. But one of my favorite things about RV buying and selling RVs is you get to own a lot of RVs for free. A lot of these people, when they sell you the lots, they leave the RVs behind, as weird as it sounds. But half the people leave them behind. But basically, anywhere from 20 grand up to $1 million, and everything between.
Who needs an RV lot? Somebody who has an RV. Now, if somebody who has an RV, is that a poor person, or is that a little bit more an affluent person if they can afford it? I'm not talking about the trailer that they live in, right? I'm talking about they have a house. They have next to their house, they have an RV. That is typically a more affluent person. And a more affluent person, usually if they get older, or if life and circumstances change, or just their interests change, they sell their RV, they don't want it anymore, they leave an older RV behind there, and all of a sudden this thing becomes a burden to them. That is the beautiful scenario that we're looking for. We're looking for the people who want to get rid of the burden of property ownership of their properties. Now, these people don't know how to list these properties. They don't know where to list these properties. And if it's a lower end RV, let's say it's a $50,000 RV lot, they don't even know, they don't even think that a realtor will even take it on. So in essence, they're just sitting there. There's usually an HOA fee associated with it, a little bit, an annual fee or so, right, Aaron? Right?
Yeah, about 99% of them have some kind of HOA, especially if it's in a community with amenities. A lot of them will have an HOA fee, and people get sick and tired of paying these HOA fees if they're not utilizing the property.
Exactly right. So they're sick and tired of the HOA fees. They're sick and tired of the property taxes, because it is a small piece of real estate that's assessed at a certain dollar amount. Therefore comes property taxes. And that's the perfect environment that we're looking for. So Aaron, can you share your screen and share perhaps an example of what you do? Because essentially this is a classic example of why are we highlighting this? Because how many people do you know that have an RV? If I think about my neighborhood, The neighbor has an RV, that neighbor has an RV, three houses further around, they have an RV, down the road, they have an RV. And guess what? These people, they don't want to wild camp the RV all the time. They sometimes want an RV that has a pool, that has a gym, that has a restaurant associated with it, that has laundry facility on it, that it can connect to all the things there so the wastewater goes away and so on. So let's look at what you
Well,
have here
this
first.
this is one of an actual deal I did. It's really not a nice RV, but this guy had called me on a neutral letter that I sent out in the mail, and he inherited this RV. So this RV was there about 30, 40 years ago. Well, they bought it like 30, 40 years ago, but he inherited it from his dad. He didn't want anything to do with it. His dad wasn't there anymore. He passed away. The son didn't live anywhere near the property, and he kind of let it go. So this is one of the reasons why I own so many RVs is because people just leave them and there's no way this guy wants to take this thing. But he called me. It wasn't that he didn't have any money, but he didn't pay the HOA fees any longer. He was $7,000 behind on HOA fees. He hadn't paid his county taxes in a while, and it was in terrible condition. And the community was actually they were actually and they were actually gonna take it off the property because it wasn't in livable condition anymore. I don't know if you guys can see the fence, but the fence got torn down. This is one of the lower end ones, guys. This ain't anything special. Um, and this is kind of how it looked. But typically, the utilities are on the side and things like that. But he had, if you look at this from this side, the utilities are actually on the other side. It's probably a bad picture for it, but this is kind of what it was. And the cool thing is he had called me. I sent him a contract, and about 2 weeks later, he signed it and sent it back to me. And you know what I like about this stuff is I like where you guys can look up my deals too. So I'm gonna just type in the name of the county and I'm gonna type in the tax assessor and I'm gonna show you the deal. I just typed in the name of the county, the state, and the tax assessor, and I'm just gonna put the parcel number in it. And this is the parcel number. This is the property again. And the cool thing about it is when you look at the map, what happened was when I got on the contract, the first thing I did was I did a neighborhood letter. And the lady across the street, her name's Jacqueline Roman, she had called me and says, this would be a great lot for my sister. Now, she bought this lot back in 2023 for $45,000. And I was selling this one. Now, she bought the lot with no RV on it. She asked me if it was available. I said it's available. And she said she'd call me back. But 2 days later, her sister called me and says, yeah, I'd love to live across the street from my sister. Now, imagine this is an RV community. This is what the community looks like, right? They have ponds and lakes and canoe areas, and people go fishing, and there's parks for the kids where they can play, and there's picnic benches, and there's swimming pools. There's about three different swimming pools all around, and there's clubhouses. So she lives there about 6 months out of the year. So one of the biggest reasons why she wanted to do the deal with me is because I only sold the property to her sister, who lived in Florida, by the way, Rose Hart, lived in Florida for $23,000. She had just paid $45,000 and had a RV lot with no RV on it. In this case, she bought an RV lot with an RV for 23 grand, and I had bought it for 15,500. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but the sale date was December 2nd, 2024, and another sale date of December 2nd, 2024. So this is what Jack's talking about when he's referring to a double close. I literally closed on it the same day. See, I bought it from a Eli Reese. I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's an Eli Reese and there's an Eli Reese pot the second. So he inherited it from his dad, and his dad didn't want it no more. So he sold it to me, and you guys saw the condition that it was in. So I bought it for 15.5, sold it for 23 grand to the next door neighbor. As easy as that is. And
Boom.
and literally I probably did that in about a 2 week period, guys. I sent out a neutral letter. They called me about 2 weeks later. Um Well, I sent out the newsletter. The seller called me about a week later, sent the offer out, got the offer back about a week later, sent the neighborhood letters out, and I usually send neighbor letters to the closest 100 people. Um, they called me within about a week. In about a 30-day window, that deal was done. 30 to 45-day window, that deal was done.
So let me unpack this, guy. So first of all, big round of applause for Aaron for that, guys. Is that cool? Now, this is not a huge deal. He made $7,500 on that deal. But here's the thing. How much money did Aaron take out of his pocket to do this deal? Zero. Because you saw a couple of things on there. You saw that the sale date, the day that Aaron bought it, is the exact same day that Aaron sold it. So that means Aaron did, and confirmed that, did what's called a double close. And a
Yep.
double close means that basically the buyer came in with the $23,000. The title company used the $23,000 to go send $15,500 to the seller, and probably there's some extra title insurance cost in addition to that, and send $7,500 to Aaron. So Aaron, by finding this deal, because there's huge demand, because people in the neighborhood, people that live in the RV park, wanted to buy another lot across the street for their sister, got that deal done in a matter of 2 weeks, or total time from beginning to end 30 days, and make a quick $7,500. So this is the cool thing. Now, again, why is RV sales why RV lots so cool? Because here's the thing, you want to really analyze this, guys, and you want to turn in this market, you want to turn your brains on. And you want to ask yourself the question, number one, are there a lot of them? Yes, there's RV parks all over the country. Number two, who is my ideal buyer? Well, owners of RVs, and there's two kinds of owners of RVs. There's the owners of RVs that are affluent, that they don't care. They were willing to spend 200 grand for a nice RV lot so that they can put their $1 million RV park. Because the guy next door over here, he has a $1 million RV thing. This is like a tour bus that he's driving. It looks like freaking tour bus, and the sides go out and it becomes extra living space. That's probably close to $1 million RV that this guy has there. And it's literally just 2 houses down the road from me. Now, this guy, do you think he minds spending an extra 100 grand, 200 grand, or whatever it is on an RV park? So you're having an affluent customer base. And also what that means is affluent customer bases, when they make the decision that they want to get rid of something, they don't care if they're getting $1 more or $1 less. What is important to them is that they get rid of the emotional baggage that thing carries for them. If they're, in this case, it's the guy inherited it. He inherited his dad's old RV and an RV lot, and he lives 2,000 miles, probably 1,000 miles away. Does this guy want this property? No. So we're having the ideal solution. We're having an heir that has something that doesn't want it anymore, something he never uses, something that has very little value to them, therefore willing to give it to you for the cheap price. And we have an asset class where there's millions of RVs that are looking for a place to be put. Can you guys see how this is a powerful combination? Now let's add to that the time period of since COVID. What happened during COVID? When everyone was stuck at home and nobody was even allowed to travel international and the borders were closed, people said, you know what? If I can't live on my own, if I can't be even going to the park and have my kids run around there, then let me freaking go buy an RV and go take my family on a road trip. Let me get a 20-acre parcel and put my RV out there. Let me get some pieces of land that I can have space and the government can tell me what I can do and what I cannot do. Right? Who has had those thoughts? Who has known somebody that during that time and that time bought an RV or bought some land? So the RV space the industry went through the roof since COVID. And it has not come down again. So RV sales are off the chain. People are buying these things like hotcakes. And now everyone has an RV, or all these people that do have an RV, where are they going to put it? So the demand for RVs is off the chain too. For RV parks, for RV lots is off the chain. So right here is a niche that you can go and look for these things. You can look for RV parks. You can look for in counties. You can look for things that are zoned RV park. You can look for RV lots that are for sale and then go in there, because usually one RV lot is not there alone. There's exact strategies on how you can actually find these RV lots. So this is our gift for today. Find RV lots make these typical 20 to 60% offers, get them under contract, then put them out there. And Aaron already talked about 2 different ways that he sold this property. One of them, you can always hire a realtor, because realtors love these things too, because they know where they're selling very fast. Number 2, you can put it on social media platform. You can put it on Facebook Marketplace. You can put it in different places and you get lots of inquiries. And number 3, you can also go to the neighbors. You can actually sell it to the neighbors. And in this case, what Aaron did, right? You mentioned that.
So sold it to the neighbor.
You pulled a list, and using the tool that we shared with you yesterday, there's AI tools now available that you can go and say like, hey, like the AI tool that we demoed yesterday, you can go and you can say, hey, I want the owner's name and addresses of the 50 closest by properties to this property. And boom, it gives you that list, and you send them a letter and say like, hey, are you looking for looking to move within the RV park? Are you looking to buy a second RV lot, perhaps for a loved one? Are you interested? And boom, and right away, this lady bought it. Now, he sold it for way more money, probably. Yeah, but it's a quick, it's a quick $7,500. So congratulations to that, and it's a great case study on how to do that. What happened during COVID? When everyone was stuck at home and nobody was even allowed to travel international, and the borders were closed, people said, you know what?